Well, George and Lily Rose, we've just met your characters on screen and experienced your very embodied and layered performances. Can you take turns telling us about your experiences with the film?
Lil, do you want to go first?
You go first, George. You're the title character. You should go first.
Like, Jacob is such an amazing role. As you read him, he's hard to read. He's hard to fully understand. And there's kind of things about his predicament and his complexities which are so strong and bold, which I was really drawn to. But then within that, there's all these kind of nuances and kind of factors and subtleties that are his own. And so it was just the most amazing process to work with Nat and to kind of spend the time on this character and really dig into and to experiment as well. We had this initial week, which was so vital, actually. It was myself, Nat and Terry. We're in Dublin and we were kind of workshopping just the wolf mainly. Mm-hmm. And like, what is this wolf? How is this not a person doing an impression of a wolf? What is it to be wild in general before you even get to be a wolf? What makes things animal? What makes you human? Experimenting and exploring those questions with us at the crux of the character in it. We found a sort of a mental space and a spiritual place, without sounding pretentious, where the sort of animal was rooted, which is where we found the character. And it was then about kind of building the layers on top of that understanding and exploring how a being who sees the world in that way could function in the world. I'm just fascinated by the question of nature versus nurture. Once we sort of found his nature, we then kind of went through and built the circumstances that would have informed how he was as a man, which he's not, his own being. And that kind of came from that initial week, and then using the time across lockdown to speak regularly and to kind of do character diaries. And then when we came together, we had this sort of joyous, intense 3 weeks to experiment. And it all just played into it. There was discoveries that came from the physical side of things, which taught you about the mental side of things, mental, emotional side of things, which you wanted to embody in the physical side of things. So it all was working in tandem with each other all at once. And that was just a process over time, really.
I have a question for all three of you, and that's if you could discuss what the most challenging scene for you individually was in the film.
I don't know if it was necessarily, I mean, every scene has its kind of challenges, but one that we spent some of the most amount of time and actually took a while to find is one of my, I don't have favorites, but it means so much to me. The scene where they are animals with each other on the roof and exploring each other as animals and finding the sort of the animal nature of that scene. To me, it didn't feel when we were doing it. And when I saw the film, it doesn't look like just two people kind of crawling around in playing pretend. There's a sort of connection there and is unique. And finding that, we called it the taffy, like the connection of where you sort of pull away and it brings you back to, and when you sort of avoid and when you're always aware of someone, but then when you draw back, and the power of connection and breaking that connection and the sort of animal draw to one another. And also I think it's a beautifully strange scene as well. Like it is also two young people crawling around on a roof as well on a first level, but yet it's not. I just so enjoyed discovering that over time, and it took time.
Well, we've met you as performers in the film and you as a director, Natalie. I'd love to know what inspires you outside of this film as artists.
Just life in general and the questions that it raises. I think that's the thing. It's just like questioning that, either the question that life raises or you get a job that makes you question life. Like, again, without sounding too intense, but like that thing of what makes a person. If a person feels that they are one way and the world says you're not, or things about you say that you're not, like what defines anyone? Like that's kind of the questions that are wrapped up in this. I think so important to keep investigating. It might not have a hard, fast answer, but the constant sort of exploration of it is healthy, I reckon. So that I find inspiring is when you find a question that can sort of reverberate out to all elements, be it the specifics of the story you're a part of or the process you're a part of, and then beyond. So yeah, and other people's work as well, I find very inspiring. When you see good work by other people, you go, oh, I want to have a go. Like, oh, I want to be part of that. So.
Well, we have to wrap up, but I have one last hardball question that you can only answer with one sentence, which is, what is your favorite animal and why? Everyone wants to know.
Wolf.
What?
Easy.
What is our favorite, or the one that we would like that we feel represents us?
Your favorite. Your favorite, but you have to say why, George.
A wolf. That's the closest animal I've been to. I've done my best at getting inside of a wolf's skin, and I
You're
think they're
transformed.
Yeah. I've made headway with a wolf, or small steps. I think they are amazing, actually, because the whole pack. Like, I read a lot of wolf books and watched a lot of wolf documentaries, and the whole sort of aspect of the
drawing wolf diagrams as well.
Drawing wolf diagrams.
Anatomy.
I know wolves because of the family pack. I think is amazing.